The Rivian R1S is kind of like an electric Range Rover, but it's not made in Europe, it's made in Normal, Illinois. Hi, this is Joe from Scarff Ford. Today we're talking about this awesome 2024 Rivian R1S. This is a dual motor version with a large battery pack. Let's dive in. So when Rivian first came out with their first product, it was the R1T, the T stands for truck, and it was only available with quad motors and a large battery pack. So it had a motor for each wheel, which gave it a blistering 835 horsepower, very fast, 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. But Rivian has come out with more versions. In 2024, now they offer a dual motor version. And now, even later, now they have a whole smorgasbord of powertrains. You can get a dual motor, a tri-motor, or a quad motor. When the Rivians first came out, they were pretty affordable. You could get the quad motors with a large battery pack, the only version you could get when Rivian first came out. They're like in the $70,000, $80,000 price range. But Rivian was losing a lot of money. Still they're losing money. It cost Rivian about $120,000 to $150,000 to build this vehicle, yet it had an MSRP when it was brand new of about $86,000. Eventually Rivian will get to the point of economy of scale where they can produce enough of these and get the production costs lower where they will be profitable, but they are still selling these things at a loss. And honestly, even though this thing was $86,000, the fit and finish, the attention to detail, the interior, it feels like a $100,000 vehicle. I love American cars. Obviously I work for a Ford dealership, but I've driven a lot of nice premium Mercedes-Benz products. Right now we have a Mercedes-Benz AMG GLS, which had an original MSRP of $160,000. There are no Lincolns or Cadillacs that rival the interior fit and finish and performance, attention to detail that you get in that Mercedes. Even Tesla, I love Tesla. I drive a Tesla myself, but the Model X and the Model S, they don't have that pizzazz. They have the amazing software, the amazing performance and stuff like that, but the attention to detail, the interior quality, it does not feel like anything from Europe, even in a Tesla. Rivian, like I said, this is pretty much like an electric Range Rover. Look at the interior of this thing. The stitching, the smell, every little detail you look at this thing. Tesla does not come close. Look at the seats, the details in the seats, the fit and finish. It is unbelievable. The little bezels, the contrast stitching, the piping. Absolutely beautiful interior, the open pore wood trim. And it also continues to the way it drives. So yeah, going back to the configuration. So this is a dual motor. So the dual motors first started coming out, I think, in the 2023 model year. So like I said, you can get a dual motor, a tri-motor, or a quad motor. So there's two versions of the dual motor. There's a dual motor, which this one is, and there's a dual motor performance. This one makes about 530 horsepower, 0 to 60 right around 4.5 seconds. You can also get a performance version, which is over 600 horsepower. I think it's like 660 horsepower or something like that. That's a little bit faster. So you can get the dual motor with a regular battery pack that has about a 260-mile range. Those usually start around the mid $70,000 price range. But if you want to get the larger battery pack, which this one has, that's going to be about a $10,000 upgrade to that larger battery pack, and that increases your range to about 350 miles. This one has a 21-inch wheels. You can get off-road tires on it, but if you do get the off-road tires, it does greatly improve the off-road prowess, but you have to think about what you're going to do with this vehicle. If you're going to go off-roading a lot, get the off-road tires, but if you're not, if you just want the look, you're going to pay a pretty big range penalty with the off-road tires. The off-road tires takes the range like down to 290 miles from 350 miles. Because of that, aggressive tire tread is going to create more rolling resistance. Also, the heavier the off-road tires and wheels, they weigh heavier, and that's going to take away from the range as well. Yeah, made in Normal, Illinois is another American success story, just like Tesla. You can name your vehicle anything you want. The previous one called it Moo Moo. This has 16,000 miles on it, still in near new condition. You have fantastic driver's assistance features, adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, kind of similar to what you get with autopilot. But the real magic of the Rivian is the off-road prowess. There are no other electric SUVs that I know of, except maybe the Hummer, but that's like in a different class. That thing is gigantic. But as far as mid-size electric EVs, You have the Tesla Model X, that's basically designed for on-road. You have the Kia EV9, again, basically designed for on-road. So as far as off-road prowess goes, the Rivian takes the cake for mid-size crossovers. Again, that's why, to me, it's like an electric Range Rover. Electric Range Rovers are very luxurious, but they also have amazing off-road prowess, just like the Rivian. We have this amazing terrain management system. You can get up to 15 inches of ground clearance on the Rivian. Pretty amazing. So it has an adjustable air suspension. You can also lower the suspension to give it a lower center of gravity, improving the efficiency in handling. Also a fantastic tow vehicle. You can tow right around 7,700 pounds when properly equipped with the SUV. If you want to tow more, actually the truck, the R1T, which is the truck version of this, that can tow up to 11,000 pounds. So if you do need to tow more weight, then take a look at the R1T. If you want third row seating and a SUV, the R1S is your way to go. You have different drive modes, and this thing is really fast. I've driven a lot of those quad motors. Don't get me wrong, they're fast, but off the line, this still feels really quick. So before you pay more money for the quad motor, try a dual motor, and you might find that this has plenty of power for you. So we have all-purpose mode, we have snow mode. Snow mode, it is safer to lower the ride height, please confirm. We have all-terrain mode. Off-road drive modes are not intended for paved roads, so go never mind. You can set the ride height in auto, you can adjust it manually. You can adjust the ride feels firm, soft, moderate, regen. Sets your regenerative braking low, high, standard. So regenerative braking, what it does is when you take your foot off the accelerator, that basically reverses the polarity of these electric motors, turning them into generators. So normally all that energy you'd lose through heat through braking, you can recapture that kinetic energy using the electric motors to slow the vehicle down via regenerative braking. So that's a twofer for you. The first thing it does for you is it makes it more efficient because you're capturing that energy and putting it back in the battery that you normally lose through heat through braking. And the other, the other benefit you get from that is since you're not using your actual brakes, you get a lot longer life out of your brakes. I mean, EVs and hybrids, which also use regenerative braking, sometimes their brakes last just as long as the vehicle. I've seen Priuses, Teslas that have 170,000 miles with still the original brakes because of the regenerative braking. And brakes is one of the biggest maintenance items that you're going to encounter with the vehicle. That's the other thing, maintenance. Think how much it's going to be to do a big 30, 60, 90K service on your Range Rover or your AMG Mercedes or your BMW. Big money in those service departments because they have thousands of moving parts, complex forced induction engines, expensive brakes. They're going to need a lot of dealer maintenance, a lot of attention. Not so much the case for this. Electric motor is very simple. The technology it takes to make the battery pack and the software to run it, that's complex, but an actual execution, this only has dozens of moving parts. It's like having an appliance. You're going to rotate the tires, you're going to replace cabin filters, wiper blades, but aside from that, there's no big giant services to do. There's no timing chains, timing belts, there's no complex emission control systems, no catalytic converters for you to fail on you. The Rivian is going to give you a high-end vehicle ownership experience, rivaling what you'd get from BMW, Mercedes, or Range Rover, but your ownership costs are going to be like a Toyota Corolla or a Toyota Prius, maybe even less. Fantastic maps. Rivian's awesome over their updates. They're constantly pushing over their updates, adding features, improving safety, improving functionality. It's fantastic. You can see I have a tendency to ramble on about these things, but I better hurry it up because my battery's only at 11%. So there's another reason why electric vehicles make fantastic off-road vehicles. We can see here, there's no axle pumpkins, no transmission, no things underneath the vehicle to get bashed on rocks really that can break. It's completely flat underneath. And that's one reason why EVs make such fantastic vehicles for going off-road. I love the look and styling, the front end styling. You're not confusing this with anything else. You have a power operated frunk, which is rather large. You think this is big? Well, we're not done yet. There's actually another level of storage underneath there. And with third row seating, this thing is going to make a fantastic family vehicle. Again, look at all the details on this thing. The bezels, the little code hook, the USB-C charger right in there. Look at the storage pocket on this seat. It has this nice metal connector right there. The rear screen is really nice. You have these roof panels for lots of natural ambient light inside. Third row seats are also decent as far as space goes too. Nice power operated rear liftgate. It comes down in 2 portions. Obviously you can fold down the third row and second row seats fairly flat. You have additional storage under there. And there's some other cool little nifty features. Check out this. You have a little flashlight that charges right in there. 1,000 lumens, pretty bright. We're not done yet. Check this out. We have a Rivian wireless speaker. This is nice. It charges off the vehicle in this little charging port right there. And this thing kicks. It has some weight to it. It's got a heavy driver for that speaker. This thing kicks, great for outdoor parties. These aren't cheap. If you want to replace one of these things, it's like $400 or $500. Well, thanks for joining me in this walk around of this Rivian R1S. Truly an amazing all-electric mid-size crossover, mid-size SUV with true off-road prowess. These things are becoming very popular. Drive in some of the areas where you see a lot of wealthy people, where you see a lot of Range Rovers, and you're going to see an increasing amount of Rivian R1Ss. They're becoming very popular, and they're becoming the new Range Rover for a lot of people. And after one drive, the fit and finish, and being American made, it's not hard to understand why this fantastic product is so popular now in the United States. Well, thanks so much for watching. We're Scarff Ford. We've been in business 103 years, proudly serving the greater Tacoma area, located in Auburn, Washington. We sell new Fords, new Isuzus, and a very wide variety of pre-owned vehicles, including a lot of different types of EVs. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, and we'll see you next time.